Want to capture epic MotoGP photos at the Circuit of the Americas? I've shot here for years and I'm sharing the best spots that you need to know for this upcoming race weekend. Let's dive in. Hi, I'm Kyle, a motorsports photographer based in Texas, and COTA is my home track. I've shot here for several years, and today I want to share the best spots to take photos from around the circuit while at the MotoGP weekend. So let's take a look at the circuit map. One of the most important things to know when going into the weekend are the places you will not be able to take photos from. First off, there are two pedestrian bridges. These will have large banners blocking the view of the track, and attempting to stop to take photos from the stairs will lead to staff asking you to move on. There is another bridge out by turn 10, but it will not be open to cross into the track, as the infield from turn 6 around to the back straight will not be accessible either. Turn 1, or more specifically the tip of turn 1, will be blocked by banners, or the fence will be covered, so we will not be able to get a shot straight down the hill to the start-finish line. However, I'll show you an alternative here shortly. Also, on the outside of the track from just beyond turn 11 heading down the back straight, this area will be off limits unless you've purchased the premium RV parking. You can walk around this section, but views of the track are very limited and almost impossible until you get much closer to the turn 12 bleachers. Unfortunately, the section between turns 19 and 20 is off limits due to COTA land construction. It's a shame, as it used to offer some of the best action and panning shots. Now let's talk about the places you can take photos from, starting with the grandstands located around the track. I've marked these in orange, as you will need a ticket to access that particular grandstand during the weekend. All of the grandstands offer great elevated shooting of different sections of the track. Turn 12 and 15 grandstands offer the most action on track, as they provide views for almost 6 turns. Now, even though you're sitting in one spot, you can still work on creative ways to capture different points in that particular section, or just work on developing your skills on a specific type of shot. Time for the general admission sections. I like to move about the track during a session, so I will always plan ahead on where I want to take photos from, depending on which series and which session is taking place. This weekend in particular, we have 4 different series that will be at the track: MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3, and Moto America's Talent Cup. This means we have lots of opportunities to capture action on the track. I'm going to go around the circuit in turn order, but by no means is this the way to go about shooting a session. I usually might even start out somewhere on turn 9 and then work my way back to turn 2 in a single session. So heading up to turn 1, you have the big hill known as Big Red. It has a fantastic shot of the starting line, panning, and even the corner of turn 1, depending on where you're standing on the hill. Now, if you plan to be here for the race start on Sunday, you want to get there early because it fills up fast, and you want to be there so you can claim your spot, make sure you've got the right angle looking down the straight before everyone gets there, and plan to be there for a while. Turn 2 has several spots to shoot from. It has some elevated spots where you can shoot over the fence. You'll still have some fencing in your shots due to the racing lines, but it's workable. Just beyond turn 2, under the bridge, is one of my newly found favorite spots to take photos from. There is a photo hole right under the bridge, and if you're at the right angle, you can get some great shots there. I only found this one late last year, so I'm looking to get some shots of the riders this year. These, of course, are wonderful spots to find, so if you see a photo hole, always try and see if you can use it, and sometimes it works out. Turns 3 to 6 offer great options for a variety of shots. It's a popular section for photographers, so when you see multiple cameras, it's usually a good sign. Turns 7 through 9 offer several elevated shooting angles with gaps above the fence. My tip is to focus on the exit of turn 7 or entry to turn 8 for more dynamic shots. One other thing to note about this area is there is one tree right next to the track. And if you are someone that likes to pan through some greenery, this is one of the only spots around the track to do so. The area between turn 9 and 10 is one of my favorite places to shoot at the track. There is also another photo hole in this section where you can snap a few frames through as well. Heading out to the tip from turn 10 to turn 11. Great views, but it's a bit of a hike, so plan ahead if you want to shoot out here. A step stool or monopod with an extension can help you get above the fence, especially if you're looking to capture this iconic shot. I managed to do so by holding my camera way above my head, balancing a 70 to 200 lens, all while squinting at the LCD screen. It's not my best work, but it's something I'll remember forever. In this section around the support paddock and additional merch area, there are a few spots to be a bit creative and hunt for some shots. Look for marshal gaps. Narrow, but they offer clean, unobstructed views. So in turn 12, there is a gap and then a second one in the corner just beyond in turn 13 as well, but they're not always available, and sometimes there can be equipment or banners blocking the view, but if they're there, you can get some really great cornering shots in those areas. Moving around to turn 14, just below the stairwell to the bridge, there's a spot with another gap, although it's not one of my favorites as it can get a bit crowded there with other photographers since it's easy to find right next to a major walkway. This section along turn 16 and 17 has a few spots, and there's another gap in the fence here as well. Again, this is another popular spot and right next to where many fans will be walking, so plan accordingly. Taking the bridge to the other side of the track, this section of turn 16 offers panning shots as the riders come flying by, and you can mix in some of the crowd as well. Turn 18 up to turn 19 is also another great spot with elevation. Despite that, you will still be shooting through the fence with most of this section, but there is one gap around this part where you can get some cornering. You can also see across the track all the way up to turn 1 as well for another vantage point. Let's talk about the tower. For a small fee, you can go up the Coda Tower for some epic overhead shots. I highly recommend it if you're aiming for track-wide views or want unique perspective shots. And when you leave, instead of opting for the elevator down, you can also just take the stairs and continue to take more photos on your descent. One time saving and maybe even energy saving tip that I want to recommend is to use the walkways that go underneath the track in a few places. Well, the first one is located on the main straight where it goes straight under the track and bypasses going all the way up and around turn 1. The second one is located on the back straight, and it goes through the, it's kind of around the section of the additional support paddock area and goes across and over into the turn 12 bleacher section. I hope these tips help you to capture some awesome shots at Coda this MotoGP weekend. Let me know your favorite photo spots in the comments below. And if you want more motorsport photography tips, hit subscribe, and I'll see you trackside.